On the Brooklyn Bridge tonight, voices strong, knowledge tight, thorough black talk in the air, changing minds, changing flair. From Brother Tad to Sister Kate, warriors got things to say. Sister Marcia brings the heat, Brother Blacksmith keeps the beat. Revolutionary waves they fly underneath the open sky. Every word's a call to fight. Tune in, feel the ancestral line. Thursday nights, the world will see Black Power Media on the spree. Facebook, YouTube, all aligned, breaking free from everybody. Social talk and politics, every voice breaks through the matrix. Commentary raw and true, for the many, not the few. Revolutionary waves they fly underneath the open sky. Every word's a call to fight. Tune in, feel the ancestral line. Ancestral line.
Standing strong on the bridge tonight. We got dreams and we got fight. Voices loud in the city's light. Change is coming into sight. History told by scars and pain. Echoes deep in every name. Legal truths we must reclaim. Through the storm and through the rain. Thorough black talk review. With Brother Tad, Sister K, Sister Marcia, Brother Blacksmith. Cut the check or no vote, yeah. Justice calls from open skies. Tears that fall, ain't no disguise. Marching forward, no surprise. Strength and hearts you can't downsize. Every voice a sweet refrain. In this fight we share the strain. Through the joy and through the pain, bound together like a chain. Thorough black talk review. With Brother Tad, Sister K, Sister Marcia, Brother Blacksmith. Cut the check or no vote, yeah.
Good evening, good evening, good evening, family. Welcome to another edition of Thorough Black Talk with your sister Keisha, your brother Tad, Sister Marcia, and Brother Blacksmith will be joining us shortly. Family, glad to be black with y'all for another week. We were off last week. A lot of things transpired here in the city, so there's some meetings that was happening and we had to pull up on, and we're going to discuss those as well. The fight for reparations here in New York continues, and the pressure is on. Also, I hear there's going to be a April Fool's Day march, a MAGA march. I bet not see none of y'all out there. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Then on these Twitter spaces, I don't know, people trying to cancel Dr. Umar. We gonna get into that. Then we got to talk about the next steps in attaining reparations and what you can do to help right here and right now. So we'll get into that when our sister Brooke joins us. Also, we have to talk about the last time we were here. You know, I mentioned the diabolical nature of a lot of the former presidents. You know, a lot of us would believe that they are men of study, men who were learned, men of class and prestige. But we're going to get into that. We're going to get into that. All of them shady. From the first to the current, shady. And a lot of their secret lives and history is not often spoken about. But I am going to talk about it tonight, just to give you a bit of insight as to history of the United States presidents, and also give you an ability to connect the dots with the diabolical nature of white supremacy here in this country. We also got to talk about what's going on in China. You know, everybody's talking about the tariffs in China and Mexico and all of these other places. But something huge has been happening in China for quite some time. And nobody, and I mean nobody, tonight will be the first time you hear about it on Black media or any other media for that matter. So, and it's called trademark hijacking. Those of us who are in the industry, we know exactly what that is. So we're going to get into that as well. Also, other things that are happening in the news. You know, I don't know, people getting rounded up, shipped out, left, right, and center. So we're going to get into that. Also, you know, some more, you know, murmurings against FBA. So we got to deal with that as well. So, family, buckle up, put your feelings in your back pocket. Don't send me no crazy emails. Don't send me no crazy messages. We don't need that kind of problem. Brother Tad, you ready? Let's go, Brother Tad, the OG Wisdom Podcast up on the Brooklyn Bridge. What's good, Brother Tad? I see you are muted, brother. There you go. One more time.
I said, hey, sis, I'm just glad to be here. How you feeling?
Good. You know, I had to make some meetings last week. So, and it could not have been avoided. Like I said, so many things are happening. And a lot of people are watching us, Brother Tad.
As they should.
And I'm going to have some good news, hopefully, for the four of us. But I don't want to talk about it yet.
Going to the White House?
We going to the Black House.
Not the Trap House, though, right?
Not the Trap House.
All right.
There were some black, what do you call those? What do you call them? I guess TV, television stations, and streaming platforms that are watching us, believe it or not, even though we don't have huge numbers, they're watching us and they like our flow. So
quality over quantity.
There you go. That's it. That's exactly what the person said to me last week, Thursday, when we met. So again, you know, and I said this before, you know, a lot of these platforms are watching. They are looking to add black streamers to their platforms. And so, you know, we'll see how it all pans out. I don't want to talk about it too much, at least not until I discuss it with the crew. And, you know, I get confirmation before I go to the crew. How about that? Confirmation before you go to the crew. How about that? Because, you know, people give you lip service all the time.
All the time.
You know, if the dollars don't make sense and the cents ain't matching up the dollars, we ain't talking. But anyway, moving on. Got to give some shout outs to our listeners, watchers, viewers.
The smartest audience in YouTube land.
Yeah, give it up for him, Tad. Give it up.
Oh, wrong button.
Oh, he laughing at you. He clowning y'all. Oh, he clowning y'all.
My bad, family. My bad. Shout out to everybody on the check-in.
Yes, Sister Aruba 927, Doggy Diamond TV Mods in the building. What's good, sis? How are you? Yes, and people are having all these reparation conversations. We had to pull up this week on that too, but we gonna get into it.
Yes, please.
Hold on.
We gonna have Sister Brooke back on tonight.
Oh, she ready. She ready already. She ready. Trust me when I tell you, Sister ready.
Sister
ready.
Tell your brother I said what's up. Give him my love. Hope to see him soon.
Yes, we'll do. Shout out to Sister Donna, Brother Kerwin, Alabama on the check-in.
Yeah.
K Rush 409, Philly in here. Yes, TBT Mods in the building. What's good, family? Sister Vera, Be More Family on the check-in. Shout out to the TBT Mods. Let's get it. Our brother from another mother, Rich Nice. What's good, brother? What's good? Sister Farnessa. I tell you, boy, Alabama don't be playing. They don't play. They serious about it. And shout out to Brother Haki Jamal, 95.1 FM down in Alabama. Shout out to the family down there. Yeah. Sister Joyce, Brother Monty, Suffolk County on the check-in. What's good? Also got a chance to chop it up with Dr. Randy Short this morning. We want to give healing mercy to him and his mom at this critical time. So definitely had a nice conversation with the brother, because some people in media spaces are talking reckless. And so, we have our own intelligence network here on Thorough Black Talk. So I had to reach out to some people, because the Black Agenda Report has been talking reckless. And in fact, that whole platform has been hijacked. It does not belong to those who are enacting editorials through that medium. So we'll get into that as well. Anusa, what's good, sis? How are you? Glad you down and checking it out with us. Big Hop, what's happening? Family? What's good? Denny, Fort Greene family on the check-in. What's good? This is my brother from another mother too. For real. So anyway, let's get into it, family. Let's get into it. Sister Marcia, you ready? She said, not yet. She working it out. Behind the scenes. Her and Brother Black are working it out behind the scenes. Now, while we wait for the crew to get it up and running, Brother Tad, I hear, a lot of people are now being rounded up. Yes. Left, right, and center.
Not just the migrants either, right? At least not the Latino migrants. Huh?
Yo, they rounding up everybody. Asians, Arabs, white folks.
I'll say some Europeans.
You see, y'all gonna get y'all wake-up call, because everything we've been telling y'all for centuries, you've ignored. You try to disrespect us, but all y'all getting y'all wake-up call right now. And hold that, because we're not helping you out. I'll tell you that. Sister Aminette too, the Midwest crew. She said she's seen that. She's seen it. Listen, you have a woman who was walking the streets. I believe it was said that she was a Turkish student walking the streets of New York City, and them boys rolled up on her, went through her personal belongings, and got her up out of here. Now, then you have this dude who was protesting at NYU, right? What's his name? Mahmoud Khalil, or whatever the hell his name is. But, people are out here protesting on his behalf. But here's the thing, Brother Tad. Now, he's protesting against the hats with what's happening in Palestine. My thing is, for all of these folks who are upset with what's happening in Palestine, and you should, because this is inhumane. However, Why you don't go to Israel with your protest?
Right.
Why you not in Israel with your protests? I mean, they are the culprits that you are pissed off with, but you don't do that. You disrupt over here, and then you want people to ride with you. No, sir. No, sir. But a lot of hat lawyers are representing him, which is also problematic because the Zionists, have a narrative of which they wish to stick to. And when they see their own who are protesting against them, they have to show and pull examples. And so, that's what's happening. That's what's happening. Then you had a brother who says he was an activist in Harlem. I never heard of him before. But anyway, he's an activist in Harlem, Jamaican national. And he was in this country for like almost 35 years, souped up and shipped out, and people are in uproar. What did y'all think was going to happen? See, Brother Tad, they thought we was going to be out there, putting hands and feet on people on behalf of some illegal folks. I don't care if you was here 40 years. You have 40 years to get your paperwork in order.
Right.
40 years. I have no empathy for you at all.
It's hard to.
I have none. And then, you got these roundups, these dudes who claim they outside. You outside? They got something for you. You going right to El Salvador. You outside? Don't worry about Rikers. All right? Don't worry about Elmira, Comstock, Kawasaki, none of that. You going to El Salvador, mother effer. Y'all gonna learn.
Not Elmira, but El Salvador.
There you go, Tad. That's where they going.
Ooh.
You going opposite of the Canadian border. Y'all gonna learn today. You gonna learn today.
So Keisha, before you go too far, I want to get your thoughts on the quote unquote segregation that people are crying about, that Trump has signed as an executive order.
My brother, boy, the ancestors rock with us heavy because that's next on the list.
we always in alignment, sister. Well, my sister from another mister.
There you go. So, some executive orders have come down the pike to repeal contract obligations, those who have federal government contract obligations, to be inclusive of everyone. They no longer have to do that. Meaning, if I have a contract with the federal government to put bathrooms or porta potties in schools, I have a right to say no trans can use these bathrooms. And see, a lot of things that we fought for will have to be repealed because for the last 30 years, we have allowed our ignorance to take precedent, and we kept voting so that all of these amendments on top of ours get done. And that's problematic.
Mm-hmm.
So, Brother Tad,
yes.
Then you have the group who was saying, well, no, separation can be a good thing. We already live separate. Right. We already separate. That's it. Everything I do, the first thing I do, if I want to spend money, I look for my folks first. If I'm going to eat, buy clothes, whatever, shoe, whatever, I'm going to look for my folks first. So we already separate. Matter of fact, in the city of New York is one of the most segregated cities in the United States. Right next door to me, right, you got Canarsie, right? Next to Canarsie, you got Bath Beach. Next to Bath Beach, you got Marine Park. From Marine Park, you could go to Prospect Heights. You know, I know my city and I know my borough, block by block, God damn it. So it's already segregated. Greenpoint, Brooklyn is for the Polish. Polish people live over there. Coney Island, with a young brother, you know, got into some trouble. Some white kids jumped him, threw bananas at him. 16-year-old young brother. Coney Island is Ukrainians and Russians.
Yep.
Get it? So you know who did it. When you talk about Dyker Heights and all of that, that's Asians, right? So we're going to get into it. I see the crew getting ready. Who's ready? Raise your hand. We're going to bring you up on the stage. Sister Marcia, Africans on the rise in the building. What's good, sis?
Happy Black Tax It Thursday. Welcome back, everyone. I'm having some buffering issues, so bear with me.
Having buffalo wings. Save me some.
Buffalo girl, you're running outside.
So bear with me, and I'm glad to see everyone again. Missed y'all last week.
Yes, I missed y'all too, but I had to make some meetings. Brother Blacksmith on the question.
Peace, y'all. Where'd Marcia go?
Peace, brother.
Black, how are you though?
I'm good. I'm listening, and I want you to continue talking about Brooklyn and how segregated it is. I'm here.
Very much so. Yes. All right, we're gonna get my sister. You ready, sis? Or you want a minute? Want a minute, Brooke? She said she's ready to go because, you know, we're going to get into some shit tonight. Excuse me, but we got to get into it. Sister Brooke as on the Brooklyn Bridge. What's happening?
Hello, everybody. How are you?
Hey, Brooke.
Look, Sister Brooke, you on the Brady Bunch. Here's the story. What else, sis?
What's up? What's going on, everybody? Happy to be here.
Good. Yes, we got a lot to get into. So I was talking, Sister Marcia, Brother Black, Sister Brooke, about the young brother who was attacked in Coney Island. The subway stop, Coney Island subway stop, Stillwell Avenue. But I was saying, you know, Coney Island predominantly Ukrainians, Russians, and Asian, but predominantly Ukrainians and Russian. Am I right?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? It's adjacent to Brighton Beach. Because I want to know when this happened, because you know that's my train stop there, Coney Island. I'm always at that stop too, and so much wild stuff happened. That's where the lady got set on fire too, the homeless lady.
Oh, I didn't even realize that.
But there's a police station in the train station, and they're always standing there. So how do these things happen? Because that like it's Coney Island. Let me see. Get off the train. Coney Island's one side, Brighton Beach is the other side, but everybody shares that train station right there. You know, that's far out as Brooklyn as you're gonna get. You know, once you pass all the Coney Island projects, you get the Seagate where all the Jewish, the Russian Jews live and people like that. So I was waiting for you to tell me more about the story because I haven't heard much about it. I heard that there was an incident, but you know, I just go make my train and get up out of there.
It was Monday. I believe it was Monday.
This Monday.
That's what. Yeah, it was Monday when it happened.
Monday.
It was Monday, and as you said, there is a police station within the subway station at Coney Island, Stillwell Avenue. However, you and I both know, you know, after school, kids are rushing through or whatever, and they pay them no mind, right?
Right.
So I know that because I was allowed in my high school days to beat the hell out of folks. I never got caught. So, and I would do it right there from the Himalayas all the way back to the subway station. that's what we did. The last day of school, we would beat up all the kids from what do you call it? John Dewey, Edward R. Murrow. We would beat the hell out of them.
All them on the queue line.
Not just because we wanted to beat the hell out of them. They were very racist. Okay. And I could tell you about a situation, statute of limitations have passed. There was a girl on the Himalaya. Y'all know the Himalaya. All y'all New Yorkers here, y'all know what I'm talking about. It's a ride with music. Anyway.
Ride in Coney Island.
Right. She gets on, and I guess because the ride is about to take off, she feels she could throw some N-words at us. You know. And so, old Becky, with her long flowing hair, as the ride began to take off, I grabbed that sucker and snatched her right off the ride. All hair and scalp came right off with it. To let her know what you said. So again, these type of things always took place. You know, at least when I was in high school, everybody go to Coney Island the last day, and if you get into something, you get into something. But these schools were very racist. So I don't know the demographic of these schools now. That's a hell of a long time ago. However, I'm not surprised of what took place in that area. Because I used to work with a woman who came from Ukraine, and very nice woman. She would always tell me about the terrible racism that took place in Ukraine and why she would never, ever go back there. There's a white woman would tell me, and this was in the 90s, she would tell me about how bad it was over there. So now I want you to think about all the influx of Ukrainians who came over here at the start of their war with Russia. Remember how the officials or the authorities over there made the Africans wait to load buses while the white and listen, they said it. Our people go first.
Yeah,
that's what they said. So again, think about the influx of those Ukrainians who came to New York, who was set up just like the rest of those migrants, with housing, with employment, with school,
stipend,
with social services. Yeah. So this is not far-fetched that this happened to this young boy in Coney Island. Then uptown in Brother Black old neighborhood, you had the Baba Louie kid who shot another kid coming off the goddamn bus. So another black father on TV crying because his son lost his life, who at least what the father said was an up and coming drill rapper. But anyway, he died, I believe, in the vestibule of a bodega. But the owner of the bodega said that he can tell that the boy was very much afraid, which would coincide with something that the father said. Although he did drill music, he had no criminal background. It was just the music, but this stemmed from an issue in the school. And I say all this to say is that a lot of folks are raising a bunch of cowards and suckers. Your kids is so afraid and so timid to knuckle up that they would rather pull out a firearm and kill another child, and you gonna spend the rest of your days behind bars praying that nobody blow your butt cheeks open. Begging your mother to send you a package. What kind of animals are y'all raising? And I have to say that because me personally, maybe it's just me, but back in the days, I got better thrill of beating your face in as opposed to putting one in you. I want to see you disfigured. My face is going to break your nose. So there is no, I don't know, no heart these days. There are no hearts. I don't know. Maybe y'all can educate me. Some of you who are raising young folks, maybe y'all can help me.
Well, Sister Keisha.
Go ahead, Black.
What it is I wrote about this in my first book. I ain't perfect, but take it from me. I seen the change because when 85 came and crack was everywhere, you know, little dudes was selling crack and they had to hold guns to beat up the big dudes that was, you know, taking their crack to sell it and all this and that. So the equalizer was to shoot somebody if they mess with you. You know, dudes that grew up together that knew each other's moms and all that. Now, because you live on that block and I live on this block, we rivals now as opposed to dudes that went to school together, played ball, probably even, you know, went on trips together and all that nonsense. So that's when that started in earnest.
Yeah, and they kept it up because I think we know in the 90s, because I agree 100%, Black, and we watch the trajectory of the culture in the 90s because brothers got tired of it and we started uniting and unifying. And then, of course, they infiltrated bringing us the gang culture because I can remember in the year 2000 when they started doing gang sweeps in all the projects around New York. And the thing I said to myself is, who's going to raise these young boys? If all the older heads are going to jail, 30, 40, 50 at a time, who's going to raise these young boys? Now look at these dudes. They soft. They scared to take a hit. That's why they shoot. It ain't even that they can't fight. They're afraid to be hit. And getting hit is part of fighting. But these dudes want to kill. And then you got old dudes, 40, 50 years old, still acting like they the kids, don't want to grow up, still want to have the same conversation as little dudes, and not really imparting the wisdom because we've been around long enough to see how the story ends. Every little dude get his first gun ain't the first little dude with a gun. You either gonna get deleted or you going to jail. And who's left to clean up the mess? Your parents, your mama. Because most of these little dudes that's out here shooting and acting foolish live at home with their mama. Because those who got responsibilities ain't got time for the foolishness. You ain't got time to be out here popping at people and trying to start fights when you know you got work in the morning. You're trying to go in the house at a certain time so you get as much sleep as you can and be a responsible person. But, you know, these are the times we in. And again, you got these record labels, you got mass media productions that support these negative images. And then you got Johnny come latelys off the boat, off the plane, come in and subscribe to the lies that the media says. So they try to treat us disrespectful. And then we got to let them know, FBA stand 10 toes down. We not playing with none of y'all. Because for too long, we've been trying to be peaceful with everybody who's been trying to make war with us. And the moment we lift every fist and swing, everybody wants to start crying. Can't we all just get along? And I ain't for it. I ain't with it.
For those of y'all who want a musical background to what me and Tad just mentioned, listen to a song called Second Childhood by Nas.
Yes.
Great song.
I'd also like to add the fact that, you know, the value systems has changed so drastically. And because consumerism and materialistic is the forerunner of everything else at this present moment, they're always looking to get up, and that is what's stifling us. And if your parents, if your mom is also looking to get up, she's not able to embark those certain principles into you. And I fear that in our community, the women are lacking in a lot of values. And they say, you know, you want to bring up a society, you want to bring up a nation, bring up the women. You want to bring them down, bring down the women. And right now, more than a lot and more than too much of our women are psychologically down. And so we really have to work on our sisters and help them, you know, embark on other things versus buying hair, nails, and stuff like that. And you know, we all like to get our nails done and our hair done. I'm not saying no to that. I'm just saying the drastic part of it, right? When you're spending $700 to get your hair done for 2 weeks, that truly doesn't make any sense. When you're buying a $5,000 bag that you can't afford, you mortgage your home for a bag. That doesn't make any sense. So we just have to really get our values and our morals back in place.
Sister Marcia, hold it right there. I don't want to move too far because you brought up, and I want you, Sister Brooke, Sister Keisha's opinion on this now. We've seen our sister Felicia Allen Rashad on the Breakfast Club. We've also seen that she got blowback from younger folks. And we're going to leave that on one side of the plate. On the other side of the plate, we got women crying that they're putting together these single mixers and the brothers are not showing up. Could y'all, as my good sisters, speak to that? And what do sisters need to do? Because as a man, they think I'm not qualified to speak on it, though I got daughters that I'm raising and granddaughters, and I'm a protector of women, but you can't protect people who put themselves in harm's way. So how do we as men support our Black women? And what Black women should we be supporting? Because I always say, I ain't supporting all Black women. Call me what you want. I remember a brother said, Brother Tad, how could you say that? You don't protect all. I said, because I don't. Because some will get you deleted out here. I said, I've seen it. I'm from the hood. I've seen it too many times. And I don't want no parts of it no more. You protecting somebody that keeps putting themselves in harm's way. You get buried. The dude go to jail. And she out here next summer, new season of the episodes of Quatisha and her BS. So I need y'all sisters to speak to that.
We're going to let Sister Brooke take that first, not Quatisha, though.
It's Bomb Quisha.
Whatever her name is. Sister Brooke.
It's hard not to see that. Like, I used to work in a school. I used to work in a middle school. And you could see just early in life that some of these kids are not wanted. They weren't celebrated, like their existence wasn't celebrated. And that's where I feel extremely privileged. My mom wanted me. My mom was excited to have me. My mom covered me in the blood of Jesus because she was so happy that God gave her a healthy child. And I don't know what that's like for your mom to not feel that way about you. But I've seen how the kids feel. And I think as much as, you know, people want to do like these little sound bites, and I think people often forget about the kids, like whether it's like, it was something I looked at online today. And it was this woman. She was like sitting on the chair, and it's like her current boyfriend was confronting her because she gave her kids up to the dad. And she was like, look, I had to do what was right for me. And let me preface all of this by saying I don't have any children, any biological children, right? And so she said, I'm gonna give up. I'm gonna, you know, I gave them up to their father. He hasn't done anything for 7 years. and I'm going to give them up to their dad and let him handle it for a while, because I can't do it. I just can't do it right now. And the guy was like, but you traumatizing the kids. You don't get that? And I'm looking at the comments, and the comments are like, well, at least she understood what she could and could not do. And I'm like, here's where I get my Ayanla on. I want to go to the bush and weep for the children.
Yes.
Like, how unfair is it for you to bring these kids here and do this to them? It's not right. My God, they deserve to be loved. They deserve to be cared for, not just some afterthought. And that's what bothers me. Like, that's where I'm very childlike. Like, my stepdaughter tells me all the time that I'm the only adult that actually remembers my childhood. She said every other adult pretends like they don't remember what it's like to be a kid. And I don't know why, but I was like, I get it. You know what I'm saying? And I get, like, sometimes I have to say certain things anyway, like, but I do get what, your point of view. And so when it comes to this, my heart just breaks.
Sister Brooke, because you gonna have me crying over here. I swear I feel
I'm
you.
sorry.
No,
yeah, I'm sorry.
Because the children should always be the focal point. And what I was gonna ask you real quick is it because we're missing the village element? Because me as a child, I was raised in a village. I was the product of a teenage pregnancy. Thank God for my father always being there, and he's still here in my life right now. I'm so thankful for him. But not just him, his brothers, which are my uncles, his parents, my grandparents siblings. So, and that's just on my father's side, because now on my mother's side, we got my mother, her siblings, we got their siblings, significant others who become uncle and auntie, and my grandparents on my mother's side, literally a village. And to know that you're loved and wanted, and you got cousins to play with, and and we all can meet at grandma's house while our young parents are getting it together. They got the support of the family. They got the support of the village. Do you think that's what it is, or is it something more?
I think that, and I don't know when this happened, and this is my personal opinion, I think somehow the village like turned on itself. At some point, the moms was like, you better not touch my kid, and you better not do that. And then so the village had no choice but to retreat. And therefore the kids was running wild because the mom need that help.
Right.
And so now if you sitting here telling people that they cannot discipline, and I'm not talking about overdoing it, you know what I'm saying? But like, even you watch, like, I can't remember, I was watching something recently and they was like, if you was outside and you was cutting up, somebody would spank you right out, like, and then you go home to your parents and they spank you again. Yeah. And so, but nowadays you bet not. You will be fighting, and you could be right. And that's why the kids now, you can't even say nothing to them. I have to be honest. I think I often, well, I won't say often, but I've walked up to kids on the street like, well, honey, where's your clothes at? You are so beautiful. Where's your clothes at? Where's your clothes at? And they don't get mad at me for some reason.
Because
it's the love. It's the love and the sincerity coming out of your voice, your intonation, and all of that. And so I also concur with you that, community is missing. But the system has made it so that community should not exist. Right? Once they tell you that you need to move out your parents' house, you need to get your own apartment, you need to, I know going to school when I was in high school, that's the first thing they told me. When you get out of here, you finish college, you move out your parents' house. You're going to go to dorm, you're going to live on campus, you never go back. And that is where the breaking point started. From my point of view, in the 90s, that's when that breaking point started, because everybody had to get their own apartment. Everybody had to get this. Everybody had to get that, versus staying together, being a nucleus, and doing things as a unit. We are devolved of unit work. When you talk about getting together and doing things, yeah, a posse of sisters is going to get together and do things, but they're not going to do things to uplift because they don't have the counterbalance, and they don't know how to approach the counterbalance for it to be in unity. Right? Everything is, oh, well, sister must have to have a relationship with me. She invited me here. Sister must have this and sister must have that. And that type of ignorance that's going on in our community is baffling to me, because I've been in organizations and stuff like that. And 9 out of 10 times, organization falls because there are relationships that are happening and people start going crazy off of all of these relationships. Homeboy is sleeping with this person and that person and this person. And when Jennifer and Becca finds out, they want to rival because somebody had a community penis that everybody was having. And that is another part of a problem. We have a lack of discipline in our community, whether it's a community P or any one of the two P's is problematic to me.
Sister Keisha.
OPP.
Sister Keisha, you want to chime in?
Yeah, I thought Black was going to say so I'm going to let him go, and then I'll come in.
Nah, I just said OPP, but I want to add something on to what Brooke was saying real quick. As far as that, from my purview, Sister Brooke, as far as the dissolution of the family, like I said, I know you're the oldest here, so I believe it was around 85, because let me give you a little some of my background. In the summer of 85, I went to the military, and so I got back to New York, and when I left, it had already started, but it really took off after I left. I came back to New York, and that's when I moved to East New York in the summer of 85. And I'm walking around and I'm hearing people saying crack, crack, smoke, smoke. So, being that I was a weed head at that point, I'm thinking it's some new exotic, back then in the days, every few months, they had Sensimilia, they had Acapulco Gold, they had this kind of weed, lamb's bread, this, that, and third. So I'm thinking it's weed. So then one day I'm talking to somebody and he's telling me, nah, that's some rocked up cocaine that people going crazy over. And before you know it, it was all over the news, and you just seeing people, selling their
the most beautiful
food stamp or whatever they got to sell, selling TV, selling everything out their mama house that they could put their hands on. And that's what really started it. And in the modern era, in my opinion, y'all could disagree or agree, a lot of it is social media. Everybody on their phones now.
Yeah.
Even when most of us here, when we were younger, I say teenagers and probably even into our early 20s, if you sat down at the dinner table, you had to talk to people. It wasn't no phones, wasn't no tablets, so, or if you wanted to hang out with your friends, you had to go find them. If they not home, baby, he ain't here. Then you went out and looked in the regular haunts, basketball court, the pool hall, wherever they hang out at. So, but now you just call somebody and 10 minutes later you with them, and then y'all together on your phones, not even talking to each other. So that's kind of part of it on my purpose.
Thank you, Black. Yeah. Sister Keisha?
For me, it's a lot of things. First, let me say that we allowed, and I'm talking about going to the late 60s, early 70s, because of poverty situations, we allowed the government to put our men out of the home so that we can feed the children. Now think of that situation right there. You have to leave so I can feed the children you created. Now, how do I look at you as a woman, as a wife, as a mother? You have to look at that element. Then you had, as Brother Black mentioned, the influx of drugs from the mid-70s through the 90s, beginning with heroin. More families destroyed. There was no community. The community was a drug bin, and it permeated for more than 20 years. So when I hear people make commentary about the residual is what we're seeing now, right? Where, as Sister Brooks said, children are not wanted. There was a precursor. It just didn't happen overnight. We allowed them to come in and disrupt the village because we are suckers. You have to tell truths. You can't call yourselves a goddamn warrior class when you let the white man put you out your house so he can feed your children that you created. You can't. And I said this before. They laugh at you, Black women. They laugh at your dumb ass when you come to court for your sons, your brothers, and your men who are arrested on ridiculous charges. They laugh. I'm telling you, I've seen it. So again, there is no protection. There is no economy. There is a den of degenerate behavior because while all of this was going on, and I think, shout out to Sister Katasha and Brother EJ, we was talking about in our group chat, a lot of things went awry, if you will. So we cannot pinpoint one thing. Now think of the woman who has the children, but I also have to be there for my man who is incarcerated. I now have to work 2 or 3 jobs so that I can continue to feed his children and send him a package upstate. I then have to get myself together to live in this community without the protection that God granted me to have. But he took himself out of it. There is a lot of play here, and we can't blame one side on one facet. Then you look at the influx of social media, as Brother Black mentioned, which took over entertainment. It took over reasoning. It took over family unit, right? So, for example, when my grandson is here, right? If we're eating dinner and we're having a conversation, we're having a conversation. If we're going out, he understands that if he and I are together, it's his responsibility to make sure his grandmother is okay. And he's 7. I think we took a lot of the protection and the standard that men must have so that a community must flourish. And this is throughout all ethnic groups, because none of you Black brothers is going into Marine Park to do nothing to them dudes out there, even though they just probably unalived a 16-year-old. You know better, and they know you do. So we are now pushed in sucker mode, men and women. And so because we are in sucker mode and refuse to deal with the real culprit, we turn in on each other, and our children are left to fend for themselves. So if I have to turn in towards you and we fighting each other and nobody looking out for me, I'm not looking out for these kids. I don't give a damn what happened to them. We live in a society that is me first. If it ain't about me, that's why everybody on social media taking butt shots and all kind of foolishness, because you want attention, because you're not getting it. You're not getting it. A lot is at stake here. We have a lot of cleaning up to do. And that's why I say, you know, although it may seem chaotic to a lot of people that Black Americans are delineating, it also puts the pressure on other Black groups to straighten yourself up. Just like we are gatekeeping our culture now to straighten ourselves up. We understand that there is a problem. So we have to change things so we can fix it for ourselves, right? When it comes to community, let's take the reparations movement. Case in point, a lot of commissions, a lot of committee meetings are happening, not just in New York, but in other cities as well. When they have these business breakfasts with politicians or would-be politicians, none of you are there. None of you are there. When it comes to real serious control of community, I guarantee you, where is your land trust office at? The average person can't tell me or even know they have one. So any and everything, this is why these fake politicians, these corny ass preachers, you know, and these hoe ass conscious chicks could come among you. I'm serious. Can come among you and steal from you, lead you, and confuse you at the same goddamn time. And then you wonder why you don't have a community and why you're the laughing stock of the world. So again, family, there's a lot of elements in play here. But what's important is you look in the mirror and make sure you're doing the right thing.
Say that part again.
You look in the mirror and make sure you're doing the right thing. Now, K. Rush 409. For those of you who don't know, I'm related to this cat. All right? You can confirm it. We're in the middle of planning a family get-together in the next month or two or whatever. Now, some family members want to go to this place. Some family members want to be at this place. However, all of us understand that it must be convenient and comfortable for our oldest living relative who will be joining us. Now, after that first day, you can go off and do what the hell you want to. But it has to be comfortable and convenient for the elders in our family. We, the Gen Xers, in our family dynamic, have to make sure this happens. We, the Gen Xers in our family, have to make sure that those who are coming up behind us understand that this is the family dynamic. And when we ain't here, your ass follow suit. Period. You don't argue in the streets with your family members. I don't care if me, my brother, and my sister hate each other. You won't know about it. Right? You all don't know if the 5 of us on this platform got beef. You wouldn't know. It will be discussed between the 5 of us behind scenes. It's none of your goddamn business. We have to go back and reclaim what is rightfully ours. Community, culture, and progress. Period. In that order. So when I leave my home, I know that I am a wife. I know that I am a mother. I know that I am a grandparent. I'm a sibling, and I have cousins, aunts, and uncles. Now, sometimes I just want to punch people in the mouth in the street. Sometimes I want to put a piece of hot steel in a lot of y'all. Sometimes I want to curse you out. Sometimes I want to do a whole lot of things. But K. Rush is in the chat. Y'all ask him, have he ever heard any negative BS about me in these streets? I don't come on to men. In fact, I tone myself down so that I can look less appealing to you all. because I got one at home and I get it up for him, not y'all. You see what I'm saying? That's why it's called wardrobe, right? Especially you conscious hoes. You understand what I'm saying? So, look, he said all the time, this is my real family member. We are first cousins. So I don't have to make stuff up to y'all. I carry myself in a particular way. I don't want nobody to go back and tell Tad, yo, Keisha was out here, son. Get your girl. Black, what's going on with your peeps out here? They not going to hear that BS because I don't carry myself that way. Even if I want to sit home and get sloppy drunk, I would do it at home. You will never see it. However, there's a way we have to carry ourselves. We all know what the problems are, but a lot of people, because they have platforms, they like to get out here and cause more problems.
And
like Umar, for example.
Shout out to Dr. Sukiana.
Dr. Suki says, some of these men, you need to marry your baby moms, even though he ain't doing it.
Say that again.
Some of y'all, be active in your kid's life. Although he not doing it. You see what I'm saying? But because and the thing is, he has a huge following, whether you agree or disagree. That tells me the psyche ain't right. You see what I'm saying? So we have a lot we have to deal with and unpack. There were certain things when I was raising my daughter, I'm gonna call my sister and let her take care of this for me. Because I'm gonna look at it a different way.
Right.
Right. And I don't want my daughter to look at me a certain way, but I am who I am. Right. Case in point, when she was younger, she loved Beyonce. I'm not taking you to one goddamn show. I'm not buying one goddamn ticket ever. So don't ask me. She knew that. But my sibling took care of it. See what I'm saying? Certain things may happen in the family. Horrible things. Right? There are certain things I can handle and certain things I can't. My family members will tell you. I don't have to make up no BS for y'all out here. So we all got to clean ourselves up. Yeah. Look at yourself and fix yourself up and find out what's going on with you. When you see kids out on the street, when I used to catch the 20 bus going into the city and all the kids going to school in the morning, some of them was ruly and everything, but they knew Miss Keisha. Miss Keisha wasn't playing with you because I will let them know, there's a certain way you carry yourself out here. I will talk to your mamas if you want to. Bring them to see me. When I had the kids at the Freedom Retreat, I'm going to treat your child the same way I do mine. No better, no worse. If you don't like it, take your kid back with you. You see what I'm saying? So I'm going to get off my soapbox. Go ahead, Brother Tad.
No, I was going to say, because you hit a lot of points. And as I was looking at the pushback, because we do need the elders like Felicia Allen Rashard. We do need elders like India.Arie, because we saw what happened a couple of years ago at the Essence Music Festival. And we do need to hold ourselves accountable. There's a few of us that have these conversations. Of course, like I like to say, we got one of the most sophisticated audience in YouTube land. So shout out to everybody on the check-in and those who watch on the playback. Because I know these are necessary conversations, but we're preaching to the choir. How do we get these messages to the people who are coming up that do have the platforms? Because the double-edged sword about social media, we can get our word out, right? But just as we can get our word out, the idiots and the ignorant people can get their word out, because no one needs permission to go on social media. All you need is a phone. Hit record, hit go live, and your message is out there. And for some reason, the people have been dumbed down so far that anything outlandish and outrageous they take as the truth. And anything about moral uprightness, about integrity, self-discipline is shunned. How do we get this message out to the people and make what I remember to be blackness being cool again? And when I say what I remember about blackness, we were always the moral barometer. We were the people of good hygiene. You know, take your school clothes off when you come home, put on your play clothes. You know, we cared about our appearance. We cared about our hygiene. We respected our elders and we looked out for children. Yeah, we had some nutcases in the community, but that's everywhere you go. And we knew how to deal with them. We had men to regulate them. And the only enemy we had was the system. The open enemy was the system. Now it's almost like our community is our enemy. As I look at the rappers, I'm looking at all of these dudes getting RICO charges and these rappers getting deleted that literally have a chance to move their family out of poverty, making millions of dollars. But in my development, I'm learning that money isn't the goal, it's the mindset that we need to change. Because if you give a fool $1 million, that fool gonna give it right back. So how do we, as a group, as a community, make this conversation more popular and palatable? Because those of us right here, us five right here, we're doing things politically, we're organizing politically, we're educating people politically. But how do we get people just to get their mind right so that they understand the power in politics and the power of the people, that we can truly affect change so we don't have to worry about our children getting jumped and deleted? Because back when I was coming up, white kids wouldn't dare jump us in the 80s and 90s because we was about that life. And I thought the little dudes behind us was about that life. So how
Well,
are these young people so comfortable to jump a little brother? Anybody?
so I think that one of the main factors is that the children behind us didn't really have us building them up, right? They had everything else but us. We became complacent to the system for a period of time. Then we exited, right? Like I exited as soon as I got fed up and I was done. I was like, this can't be real life anymore. I exited. But when you're caught up in that matrix, when you're grinding 48 hours and not having community, not having anyone, and it's different than the latchkey kids. It's different than when we were growing up because we still had responsibilities when we got home. We knew that, nobody's home. If nobody's home, this is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to lock the doors, do your homework, cook dinner, do the laundry, whatever your chores were, you were supposed to do. Children don't do chores,
Yeah.
and forget about Jaquan and his needs. I know his peers that don't do chores. And I look at their mother like, what do you mean? How is these things happening? And I fear that sometimes I don't say things to my contemporaries because I don't want to seem like I know something that I don't know, but I know something. I know that you can't complain when Billy isn't doing certain things because you didn't raise Billy to do certain things. Oh, Billy ain't cleaned up his room in 5 weeks. Why? Why is that okay? How is that okay? And then you go in and you sweep up after Billy. So Billy ends up not knowing how to sweep up. And now Billy is 40 or 30 and he still doesn't know how to sweep up. And then he's supposed to be somebody's mate, somebody's compliment. Whose compliment? Who is he going to assist? And gosh forbid about Sally out here, and I shouldn't call her Sally. I need some black names. But Sally out here, she doesn't have this moral compass.
Bonquisha.
Leave it to black.
I think it's something about I think it's something about the moral compasses, the behaviors, these things that we didn't give the next generation. We didn't give the teenagers, not even our children, the teenagers behind us, those that were looking up to us.
I'm because as I'm listening, I'm thinking about how much of my life I've dedicated to community work. And I always tell the young people, I don't get paid for this. I don't get paid for this. I think that's part of the blessings too. My summation is, with doing the work, Boy Scout troop leader, I was going to church when I wasn't even deep into it like that. It was just part of the community service, part of my journey, through Straight Black Pride, Party, African Village, all of these organizations to help, to assist. What I've noticed is that there is a resistance, and not just by mass media, but there are those who's supposed to be in high places. Case in point, as we see the politicians who sell out the community and then think it's okay. We can look at Kamala Harris. We can look at the city girl mayors all throughout the country, how they associate ratchet behavior with connecting to Blackness without giving historical context. That's why I love the Sister Keisha said, all this stuff didn't happen in a vacuum, that we have been criminalized as a culture, right? And we still, not just us, the media perpetuates that, and we adopt it as Black culture. How do we really sound the Akobin? How do we sound the war horn and let people know that this is still genocide? As I watch young children get caught in crossfires and deleted, and because these dudes that's getting deleted in the streets are rappers. We're not even talking about drug dealers. We're not even talking about gangsters and mobsters. We're talking about what's supposed to be musicians. Could you imagine Charlie Parker and Miles Davis having beef? Like, are we serious?
So I think this is where the current administration is going to assist, where it assisted before.
Because people can't say that, but go ahead.
Where it assisted before that 8-year break, that 4-year break, we were organizing. We were really doing a lot of great stuff and having great conversations for community. We get this 4-year, well, we get this 4-year gap. And within that gap, like we talk about Umar, he goes crazy. He forgets the mission. He's all about doing whatever he's doing. And now he's on a college campus where people are yelling at him like he's a rock star. And it's not okay. This is not your role. Your role is supposed to be to protect and uplift the next generation of babies. And then you have your own baby, like Sister Keisha brought up, that's yelling and screaming that you were never there. So again, we end up having this break. Now we're back into it. And the thick of things is that we are resisting with rest. We're not contributing to their, let's not go shopping here and let's protest here. April 15, let's all rally. No, you're not finding me, and you're not finding anyone here going to be anywhere April 15, but where we need to be. So it's that type of thing that is going to make us understand. And rest is one of the biggest resistance that we don't talk about. And this is our time to, like Sister Keisha said, let them work their stuff out. We'll sit back and we'll organize, because we're great at mobilizing. We're great at getting everybody to the party. But after the party, where is the organization? That's where we're lacking our skills from. That's where we need to build up our skills, because damn sure we could bring everybody to the party, but we can't get everybody to start doing the work. And that's what we need to start working on.
Sister Pat, give it up, Brother Tal. Give it up, Brother Tal. Sister Pat says, Recriminalization of a Race by Shashi McIntyre. I don't think they got that $1,300 for that book, because that's what it costs now.
We could do a group thing.
Maybe.
We could do a group thing and all share a couple of chapters and read.
Maybe. We'll talk about it. Anyway, moving on. We got trapped up and time is flying by already. So, again, conversations continue to be had surrounding reparations. reparations. Now, one of the things that I notice, and Sister Brooke, along with others, notices that those who are leading conversations about reparations should not be, and it's problematic. And tonight we're also going to show you guys how you can take part and help this reparations movement. I'm not telling you to waste no shoe leather. You ain't got to spend no money. You ain't even got to take 20 minutes out of your day. All right? We're going to show you how you can help, because as New York wins, the rest of the nation will as well. So, Monday evening at the Brooklyn Heritage Historical Center, Brooke, myself, and Brother Sage, shout out to Brother Sage, we attended a conversation surrounding reparations. I'm going to pull up the petition. In the meantime, I'm going to let Sister Brooke give y'all the 411 on the discussion and what transpired. Go ahead, Sister Brooke.
Okay, so you want me to talk about the discussion that they had at the, all right. So we were on high alert about the discussion because the writer or the director, I don't know, the filmmaker of the documentary, her name was Yoruba Reichen or something, if I remember. And she did a TED Talk a few years ago where she was comparing the LGBTQ lifestyle to being Black. So needless to say, I was on high alert, and I felt that it was very important because I'd been to one of these conversations before, and I remember when I got there that I was confused. I thought I was in the wrong place because I didn't see very many Black people. So I thought it was important for us to be in the building while this conversation was being had because, I could feel the trick coming on why they were choosing her. So I dug into her background, because that's number one. Okay, so where is she from? Who raised her? What's going on? And she said in an article that her mother was a foster child, but her mother had her parents' birth certificates. Does that make sense? And the birth certificate said that they were from North Carolina or I think the other one was like Mississippi or something like that. But anyway, from the South. And I just thought that was so weird. Like, I had Sister Keisha laughing. I was like, I've never seen my mother's birth certificate, and I actually know her. Like, I know my mom's, and I've never seen a birth certificate. So you're telling me that a foster child has her both parents' birth certificates? Okay, whatever. So I could see that, what they were trying to do already. They're bringing somebody who, because they know that we've been saying that they've been having conversations about our reparations, that they've been allowing people who wouldn't qualify for a constitutionally correct reparations bill. They would not qualify. We didn't want those people speaking for us in our reparations. It just doesn't make sense. So now they brought us someone where if we ask the question, it's like, yeah, I'm not really sure. She's not really sure. We're not really sure. We don't know. But it doesn't really matter, especially when she started to try to bring those two together. So anyway, we all get there. I'm prepared for this topic, right? Because I'm assuming that that's what she's going to do because she's done that in the past. And so it's a screen. Yeah, I was ready. Okay. Ready. I had information on people who were LGBT and owned slaves. I had I was ready because I was assuming the last time I went, they didn't allow you to speak. So I had like signs ready to go, so I could just peacefully say, hell nah. And but they started playing the documentary, and it was nothing like that. And I was actually shocked at, it was more, I would say it was regular. It wasn't like, something where it was super powerful, I would say, but it was like a regular PBS documentary. And her point of view was not being gay is the same as being Black. The point of view of the documentary was basically to make, let's be honest, was to make white people comfortable. It really wasn't about taking anything or even being given anything that we are owed. It was about white folks feeling guilty for what they did and them giving reparations on their terms. They create a trust. They do it, and so there was this young lady that was in the documentary, and she they paid for her school, and then they paid for her, like, her, I guess the white lady's family owned her family back in the day, and so she paid for her to go to school, and then she paid for her to get a house. So it's like, and I'm not upset about that. Like, get yours, ma'am, get yours, but do not conflate that with our reparations claim, federally, with statewide, don't confuse the two. Oh, that my earring just dropped. But don't confuse the two, and that's the problem that I ended up having. But now I'm not prepared for that argument. I don't have signs for that. And I told the kid, I'm like, man, I'm wishing for a marker right now.
I was like this. Wait, just keep it in the bag. Keep it in the bag, bro. Keep it in the bag.
At this point, I had to just keep it. I had nothing ready. So, they go on, and Dr. Daniels from the commission was in the documentary.
That's right. And as you see, it's on here, The Cost of Inheritance. That was the name of the documentary. You guys, she said it's available on YouTube, PBS channel, so you guys could see it at your own leisure. But go ahead, Sister Brooke, continue.
Yeah. So, Dr. Daniels was in the film, and one of the parts, I'm going to say this early, one of the parts that was interesting in the movie, because I thought it was such a good quote, and I was like, oh, I'm definitely going to use that. One of the people in the movie, he was saying, that they were having conversations about us without us. I was like, ooh, I like that, because I think every state that is trying to move forward with reparations, we're all experiencing the same problems, the exact same problems, different levels, but the exact same problems, conversations about us without us. And even though that was a theme for some people in the documentary, it clearly wasn't a theme for everyone, because Dr. Daniels was in it. And at the end of the documentary, they did allow us to ask questions. So Brother Sage asked a really good question. And I didn't get to hear, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't get to hear the whole thing because I was so busy trying to figure out what was I about to ask. Because I knew my time was very, very limited, and I ended up being the last person to ask a question. So they asked me, and you notice, Sister Keisha, they haven't put this video up, right? Because I've been checking. I see they put everything else up, but they didn't put this one up. I said, okay, all right. So when I got a chance, I asked her, I said, so I noticed that you had Dr. Daniels, who sits on the commission here in New York, in the film. I said, what are your thoughts? I said he has been in opposition of a constitutionally sound bill here in New York. I said, what are your thoughts on us having a constitutionally sound, or your thoughts on the reparations bill that we have that is not constitutionally sound because it is not lineage based. Bingo! That was the perfect question to ask, because then that's when the true colors start flying out. Because the whole time they were kind of dancing around the subject. Oh, we're about reparations. We love it. Da, 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 da. Hey, I'm here. I sit on. Oh, don't forget. Did you write down all the boards that woman sat on? I should have. But I didn't know where it was going to go. I really wish I had video of that thing. But anyway. So I asked that question. Miss Yoruba goes first with her answer. And
yeah, that's the woman who did the documentary. Yoruba Richin, I think her name was.
Yeah, Richin or something like that. I'm trying to find my earring.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, Yoruba Richin. So she went first in answering, and she said,
this one.
Well, first the moderator or host, whichever one you want to call it, she wanted clarification. She didn't understand what I meant, but they knew what I meant. You noticed that also, Sister Keisha? Yep. Okay, she was unaware. I do believe wholeheartedly she didn't know what I was talking about, but they knew.
This is this one over here that she's talking about right now. Go ahead.
Yeah, I believe wholeheartedly she did. She had no clue what I said. It went right over her head, right? But those two other ladies knew what I was talking about, and so instantly,
I call her Staten Island. I'm gonna call her
Staten Island. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, because she's from Staten Island. Shoot,
she's from Staten Island. Right. That's what she said.
The other one with the black turtleneck. Go ahead.
So she answers, and she's like, well. I don't think that it's right for it to be lineage based. I do feel like that we should open it up, and it's I just feel that it should be that way. And then Staten Island took over. Staten Island had a lot to say, okay, and Staten Island had already let us know that she was born in Jamaica, but
after cosplaying,
been here, right? Okay, been here her whole life, right? And she told us that she sat on the board.
She said she relates more to black eyed peas than rice and peas, right? That's what she said, right?
That's a quote. That's a quote. And she said she sat on the Frederick Douglass board and that board, African American Studies board, and I'm making things up at this point, but she was all of these things. She was like, I sit here and I sit there and I sit there, and the whole time I'm thinking to myself, was y'all listening to the movie that I just saw? Keisha and everybody here, have you guys seen American Fiction?
I don't remember.
That movie was so amazing to me, right? That's what it was like sitting there.
You said American Fiction?
American Fiction with what's his name? He's from Brooklyn too. The one where he wrote a book called FUCK.
Yes.
Right. And it was like a parody. He just wrote it just because he was like, the worst black things are the things that sell, and then nobody wanted to take him as a serious writer. And but it ended up being a hit. Right. And he was like, what the?
He wrote the book of foolishness, and everybody
foolishness, all the stereotypes you could think of. Now, this is the part that was interesting to me about that movie was the whole time Issa Rae is playing the artist who did the thing but didn't realize she was doing the thing. I'm wondering to myself, Does anyone see that this is her in real life?
Yeah.
Does she know? Is she aware that they're mocking her in real time? Like that's not a movie. That's who you are, Issa Rae.
Yeah.
And so that's how I felt when I was sitting there in the audience as this woman was sitting here telling me she was on this board, she was on that board, she's this, and she's more black eyed peas than she is rice and peas. And then when I asked her about reparations, she tells me how then now she gets in. I wanted to give you some backstory on who this woman was before I tell you what she said about my reparations. So then she tells me that it should not, that how it's not fair because other people have been here a very long time. Then she starts bringing in CARICOM and everything else. And that's when I start looking for the lady with the microphone. Hey, I got follow-up questions. But she purposely wouldn't look me in the eye no more.
She already coming back over to our section because then Sage went and it was over. I knew they wasn't coming back. So that's why, Brooke had some printouts, right, to let people know exactly what should be in the bill, what's wrong, and so on and so forth. So she was like, how are we going to give these to these people? So I was like, put the pages together. We're going to walk around and hand these motherfuckers out. You know what I mean? They won't let us do it. We just going to hand them out. So Brooke was like, all right, you put them together, hand them out, and I'm going to start talking about it. Boom. So you had the tag team. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We went outside. We had a conversation for like an hour and a half outside. So the moderator who saw us outside, she was like, yeah, continue the conversation. This is what I like. But the thing is, Sister Brooke, and I said this to you before we even started going to these meetings or whatever, that the BS is what it is. And we're going to see it for what it is. It's going to be revealed to you. Everything that I'm telling you is going to be revealed to you. You'll see it. Starting with Ron Daniels and so on and so forth. But the thing is, Sister Brooke, what if we weren't in that space? See, this is what I'm saying.
And that's why I wanted us to be there. I was, as soon as and they don't tell you about these things so last minute. So it's hard for you to plan. It's hard for you to take off work. It's hard for you to put in to take off, and they know that. They know that. And that's why they do that, because it's like 2 days. They like room full. Again, we the only meatballs and the rice.
So always ask black people a question you really want the answer to in a room full of white folks. They're going to tell you. They're going to tell you because they're going to start skating back and double fudging and babbling and all kind of stuff. And this is what's going on, Even though the film was very entertaining, however.
It was.
She deviated. And what I concluded out of all of that is that they want to make it a blank check for organizations, for groups, for funding, for more films, funding for, as Miss Staten Island said, digitizing more of African American history.
For the board she sits on.
Right. And that's why we got to continue to show up in these spaces. This is why, because they are pushing a narrative that is the antithesis of what the law should be and what we want. So, guys, Sister Brooke, I just wanted to interject.
And they talking out both sides of their neck. How out one side of your neck you gonna sit here and say you can't have a conversation without us, about us, or about us without us, and then out the other side of your neck, then you talking about that you're Jamaican, and you're talking about how our reparations here. Then you bring up CARICOM, and you know that CARICOM doesn't include us. So why is it that everybody else gets to double dip, but we don't? Like, we're not included. That's the part that cracks me up. It's like that you are aware Like, we're not saying that there's no one saying that Caribbeans are not due, Caribbean specifically. I'm sure Africans are due some sort of colonial, type of something, reparations. But then you got to figure out which ones sold us and which ones didn't. So anyway, so
check your paperwork.
I'm not right. You are, so y'all deal with that. So, but I'm not saying that Caribbeans are not due reparations. I'm saying we're due reparations from different people.
Right, not our reparations.
From different people. I'm completely with it. Like with CARICOM, get your money. But it is completely unfair. And then the thing is, it's like they know. I refuse to believe that they are unaware that this, because I mentioned that in the question too, that even after affirmative action and DEI were overturned, this is known things that you cannot do it this way. So it's like you're purposely tanking it for us. Yes. And I don't know. I think
they are.
The last time I think we were on the show together, like, I think I was like crying in my sleep, because I was just like, I was kind of like hurt, like people really doing everything they can to stop us.
And it's bad. It's bad.
And that is, I'm going to be honest, like, as somebody who grew up in Brooklyn, and I told you this, I'm quite sheltered, when it comes to a lot of things. I grew up very naive, but grew up in Brooklyn at the same time. You know what I mean? So it's like I had a good balance. But I never heard of the term Akata. I had never heard of certain things.
Bruni, like the Bruni. That's a new one. Brunies.
The what?
Bruni.
I never heard that one.
Oh yeah, that's new. I found that on TikTok the other day.
The word is Obruni, and that's the Ghanaian word for Hakata, which is nigga, basically. Okay. American nigga or African American.
I never heard of that one. Today, I'm today years old when I found out about that.
The reason why Hakata is more popular is because there's Lagos State alone has more people than the whole country of Ghana. Ghana has about 30 million people. Lagos State probably got about 35. And that's like Lagos is like the New York of Nigeria.
And there's
Ghana,
a lot of
there's over 200 million of them. Yeah. So anywhere you go in the world, I learned this as being a merchant seaman. If you see a black person, more than likely they American or Nigerian, one of the two. More than likely, I ain't say all the time. 75% they're one or the other.
Mm-hmm. All right, family. So we want y'all help. We gotta let these lawmakers know that we not playing with them.
Mm-hmm.
We not playing. Me personally, I send the same email to all of the New York State lawmakers at 11 a.m. I just copy and paste and resend. Right? So, and let me put this link in the chat before we move on. But as I put the link in the chat, Sister Brooke, start explaining. So I can put this in there. So
okay. So, this is an email letter writing campaign, right? I started thinking, how could we just kind of force the legislators to force their hand? Because, we've definitely presented them a constitutionally, with the Freedmen Project has presented them a constitutionally sound bill, and they refuse to bring that bill for a vote. They refused to co-sponsor it because Nikki Lucas was definitely working with us. So this email letter writing campaign was designed to put pressure on them. And that way the whole, the family from all over the country can help us with this. And you don't have to just be in New York. Everybody can send emails because, you know, as New York and California goes, because, you know, we're the two up at bat. And don't get me wrong, they're working on some other states as well. But definitely New York and California. If we get that in New York and California, the other states will fall like dominoes. So, you know, that's why, you know, if we get letters from all over the country going to these legislators, putting pressure on them, they'll come to us to either amend this bill, which at this point I don't even think you can amend it. I think you just have to like get a new bill at this point. But so we want to change the bill. So this is all you have to go here is scroll down, or even right up at the top of the page. It says decision makers. Scroll up a little bit more right there. So you see where it's pointing? Yeah, right there. Decision makers. And then you click that, and that will take you to each and every one of the legislators. And then you click, what does that say? Email them. The print is so small.
Email decision maker.
Okay, email decision maker. Right? So just click that, and it's going to have a form email, just something that's already, you know, put together for you to email the legislator. If you want, you can definitely edit it and add your, you know, your own little spice and flavor to it if you like. But even if you don't have the words to say, if you just click that and then click send, it'll be good to go. And that'll be good enough because it'll take the legislator back to our petition here. So understand that the petition was just a way for me to put all these legislators together and get the email campaign. Your signature of the petition is appreciated, but that's not what it's about. It's about the emails, sending them emails, flooding their inbox. I want their inbox to have so many emails about reparations from us and from the FBA family and our extended family as well that is on our side. So I just wanted to have so many emails from us that, like I said, they end up coming to us about how to fix this.
So
yeah, also family, like at the top, because I put the link in the chat so you guys can, you know, sign it at your leisure and send these emails at your leisure. You can sign a petition here at the top. And then you want to click here to the decision makers, and it'll bring you right back down here to what she said. And all you got to do is click on them. There's 41 more here, and there's already an email, the body, that you can send, right? It's already there for you. But like she said, if you want to add your own spin on it, you most certainly can. And you can send it to all the lawmakers at the same time, right? Now, what I do, I send the same damn email every day at 11 o'clock because I want to flood them, right? Could you imagine if 42 million Black people was flooding their emails every day at 11 a.m.?
Word.
This is what I'm saying. So here's for an example, something other people wrote, right? He says, Chris says from Dallas, he says, as a descendant of freedmen lineage from Mississippi, this is down disrespectful to their bones as the their bones to rest peacefully. I guess that's what he meant. I demand that you change this bill to a lineage-based one that addresses the descendants that it happened to. So again, you can use Brooks that she's already formulated for you, or you can write your own. All we asking for you to do is send those emails. That's all we got it from here. We got it from here. So again, I'm not asking you to take off of work. We not asking you to waste no shoe leather. You ain't got to find no vehicles. You ain't got to do none of that.
do I got to donate to FDMG?
F that.
Yes. So, but one contradiction, because half of these city council people, parents, they're they're not going to be for it, but I will definitely support it, right? Because they are more than likely first generations like myself. So they have
but we don't care if they support it or not. Our goal is to flood their emails, right? Because here's the thing, because when they have these
at the end of the day, they work for us.
Right. And when they have these committee meetings, they have to acknowledge that you all are flooding their emails. This goes into the record. You understand? Because as Brooks said, this bill is dead. As is. It's unconstitutional and it's not going to pass. We want them to scrap it, start from scratch, and do what the hell we tell you to do.
That's right.
You work for me. So you do what the hell we tell you to do. So that's why we want you guys to flood their email. So that they can acknowledge it when we come up in the Bronx in a couple of weeks. They're going to acknowledge that. Go ahead, Brother Black.
Is there any possibility that you guys can employ a lobbyist of some sort or something?
We are our own lobbyists. Unless you got 2.5 million.
I was about to say, who you got the money? You got lobbyist money.
That's another thing. We don't have lobbying groups because Black people don't want to pay for their own freedom. They'd rather pay for their oppression. So that's what we do. We pay for our own oppression. We fund white supremacy with our dollars, paying for our own oppression. Well, if I tell you that I need a war chest to travel to DC and to Albany on a weekly basis, everybody ain't coming out their pockets. Nobody coming out their pockets. I know how Black people are. You like the force like you got it like that, but when it comes to really getting what you need, you ain't about that business. You know, I've been in this game too long. I know Black people. You know, you rather give the FDMG than to form a lobby group so we can get things popping for real. But in modern technology, we can do other things. So that's why we asking y'all to send the emails. The link is in the chat. Grab it, put it in your browser, make sure you save it.
I wanted to add just a little what a couple of things gave me the inspiration for this email letter writing campaign, right? And one of them is when the commission first got started. I think it was like the second meeting, Dr. Daniels wasn't there, and they were trying to vote who was going to be the vice chair. And it was between Dr. Daniels and Dr. Jenkins. And the lawyer Daniels Favors, she decided, you know, she was just bent and bound on waiting until Dr. Daniels came back. So because she wanted him to be the vice chair. We wanted Dr. Jenkins to be the vice chair. And so they ended up tabling it another week, which is another reason why this is just, it was just a bunch of time wasting stuff going on. But anyway, they ended up tabling it to the next week. And during that time, what we were unaware of, or I'll say I was unaware of, maybe Divine at the Freedom Project was aware, but Annette, her name is Net on Twitter, and Earn on Twitter, they started an email campaign of their own where they just was like, you know, email the commission, which is just one email address, you know, email the commission and tell them that you want it to be Dr. Jenkins. I was completely unaware of this. So the next week comes up, or the next meeting, you know, comes up, and the chairwoman voted for Dr. Jenkins. I do not feel that her vote would have been Dr. Jenkins beforehand. Well, actually, she told us. She specifically told us that the reason why she voted for Dr. Jenkins was because she received so many emails that she felt that she had to do what the people wanted her to do. And that let me know that they are reading these emails and they do make a difference. And so, you know, I let Sister Annette and Earn know that that like changed a lot. And that also taught me a lesson, you know, that you can make change, because it's just like how back in the day when people used to write letters to the senators, now you just write an email to your senator. Same concept. So that is proof to me that one, emails do matter and they do read them, and especially if they get a lot of them. You know, maybe if they get one email saying one thing, they may not, care too much about it, but they're getting flooded. And if that's the case, well, then hell, let's flood these legislators right now and get them to do what we need them to do and scrap this bill and start over. And when you start over, make sure it's constitutionally sound.
Right, because we can't have it any other way. We're wasting our time.
Mhm.
And also, just revealed that what happened in California, they lied. Of course, the Congressional Black Caucus, they're a bunch of goddamn liars. They lied and said that, oh, Gavin Newsom, they didn't want no problems and all of that. But our brothers on the ground in California found out
that they wrote.
They wanted organizational checks. This is what I'm talking about. And this is the kind of BS that December 12th was talking that day. I don't like them either. I don't care, because it's business right now. And I'm tired of everybody grandstanding and looking for handouts. And because they know, one, we ain't legally astute enough. Some of us. That's number one. Number two, they know we ain't gonna put in the time. They know y'all don't show up. So they, they gonna let this slide so we can get this money for my group or my group or my group or my group. Then they gonna say, yeah, we gave y'all reparations. But this is the type of stuff that's going on. So please, family, I see some of y'all signed it already. Make sure you send them emails. Please, all you gotta do is click the link and go for you just like that. You gotta do no extra
Don't forget
stuff.
part 2.
Nope.
Yeah.
Don't forget part 2 of the campaign.
Yeah, you gotta send those emails. It's very, very important that you send those emails, because now the next meeting is in the Bronx, April 10th, from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. So some of y'all ain't even got to leave the plantation. All right. From 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. If you can be there, please do so. If not, we gonna be there. But if we have your emails prior to our arrival, that can help in a big way. So we want y'all to do it. And next week, we're gonna drop the link again. Every week, I'm gonna drop the link, because I'm gonna be on y'all ass. Because when the checks start rolling out and I see y'all lining up for checks, I'm going to embarrass your ass. Get your bum ass to the back of the line, because you ain't do shit. Don't make me embarrass you. Don't. So anyway, please do so. But before I go,
wait, don't forget part 2.
Oh, go ahead.
About deregistering from the Democratic Party.
Yes. So that's also in that same link. So you all in one shot. Sister Brooke hooked it up. All one shot deal. You ain't got to go all over the place. You ain't got to do all of that. Right? All you got to do, God damn it, is scroll all the way down. All the way down. And get your ass out the Democratic Party. All right? Re-register.
Go up. Actually up.
I passed. I saw it. Get out of the Democratic Party. It's on this page. Here we go.
Yeah.
Right here. So click this. Re-register as an independent, non-party affiliate. It's right here. Before you even get down here, click the link. It's going to take you right to where you got to go. You look for your state. Re-register as a non-party independent affiliate. Are we clear? We all on code. Do not break the code. If you do, I'm going to embarrass you. Okay? and I got a louder voice than you do. So I will embarrass you. So please, family, I'm asking for your help. I never asked y'all for a goddamn thing. All I'm asking you to do is sign a petition, send the email, and re-register as a non-party independent. That's all we're asking. You ain't got to leave your house. All right? Matter of fact, no, I'm going to leave that alone. But anyway, we definitely, sincerely appreciate that. So we will reiterate this again for you all next week. Right? At least till we get to the Bronx. And then after that, we're going to start the campaign again, goddamn it. Because this is
we'll be adding the desegregation one as well.
Yes.
Because we need to delineate on the census in order for reparations to be made possible.
Correct. Now, before we leave, I told you I was going to give you a little bit of insight of some of y'all presidents. No, I ain't have time to put it in PDF or PowerPoint. So we're going to read my emails. How about that? All right. So just a little bit of insight. Let's start with John Adams. President John Adams, and also his son was president as well. I hope y'all know that, right? Two John Adams. All right. Both of them were repulsively ill during campaigning. They didn't like it. They didn't like appealing to the public, if you will. They didn't like the banter of politicking. In fact, I think the son later on went into gardening as a way of relieving himself of, running campaigns. So psychologically sound, they were not. John Adams's vice president was John C. Calhoun. John C. Calhoun also was the vice president to Andrew Jackson. John C. Calhoun was about maybe 5'6" or 7, but he was a force to be reckoned with as far as slavery was concerned and about white supremacy. And he was so adamant about it, he used to check Andrew Jackson. Now, Andrew Jackson, who's on y'all $20 bill, he was about maybe 6 feet tall, right? But he was afraid of John C. Calhoun. These presidents used to duel, right? They used to shoot each other. I think Andrew Jackson ended up with 2 gunshot wounds that he later died from a duel. Wait till you find out. But anyway, so John C. Calhoun was so vicious that Andrew Jackson had him arrested, his own VP. He had him arrested because he was so reckless, right? Keep that in mind. Now, the Adams boys, John and John Q. Adams, they were what you call Puritans, bunch of Bible-thumping Puritans. This is what they were. But at the same time, they were connected to various vices, alcohol, things of that nature, right? So anyway, after they left, those 2 Quincy Adamses, they licked their wounds, and I think the son retired in Europe later on. John Hancock, although he wasn't president, he was the first signer of the Declaration of Independence. He had a mass fortune, right? But he also was a drunk. He used to keep a bowl of rum punch next to his bed every night. So he would drink all day long. This is the guy who signed the Declaration of Independence. Benjamin Franklin was a pedo. He also had an illegitimate son who later became the royal governor of New Jersey. Now, I left that picture, Sister Brooke. New York and New Jersey once shared the same governor, Lord Cornbury, right? Lord Cornbury was a cross-dressing governor. He dressed as a woman, right, Brooke? Okay, I ain't lying to y'all. So you wonder why New York, California, these places at the forefront of gay, lesbian marriages and all this old kind of stuff, because it permeates through the fabric of these states. It is right from their inception, right? You also had and remember, they found all of those children's bones in the basement of Benjamin Franklin's home. Y'all remember that, right? You can Google that at your own leisure. What was he doing with all those children? That's another story. Also, you got to think about Aaron Burr, right? Aaron Burr, who was the first tax collector, right? He didn't do a good job at that. In fact, he was a sloppy bum and a drunk. He actually shot and killed Alexander Hamilton in a duel while serving under Jefferson in 1804. Y'all know about the year 1804, right? I hope so. Do a little research on your own time. But he was so sloppy and so dirty that his constituents, they bought him suits because he refused to clean himself up. I think Thomas Jefferson also died very broke. He was a whore too and a slut. Not even talking about Sally Hemings, but I'm for real. Thomas Jefferson used to sleep with his friends' wives. When they would go off the wall, he would sleep with their wives. You know what I'm saying? I think at one time he broke his wrist trying to jump a fence, getting caught sleeping with one of his friends' wives.
Sounds like David from the Bible.
True. This is what, your founding fathers or this nation's founding fathers were involved in, right? Samuel Adams, who was the father of the Revolution. Alexander Hamilton, who, by the way, was the first secretary of the Treasury, had an affair with his friend James Reynolds' wife. Now, instead of James getting mad with Alexander Hamilton, he blackmailed his ass for several years. And in fact, when he tried to rerun again, all of that came out and it was whole salacious campaign against him. So again, these are the founder fathers of this nation, right? Even Thomas Jefferson, he let go, I believe, 5 of his top slaves, but he kept Sally on the plantation. I think she was freed by one of his daughters, if I'm not mistaken.
He couldn't give up that good.
Well, but he did so much just reckless behavior. So again, he too took part in duels, also shooting and killing people. You guys know about Martin Van Buren being Andrew Jackson's VP. Them two started the Democratic Party. We already went through all of that. In fact, I think Andrew Jackson, I put in my notes, he was kidnapped by the British when he was about 13 years old. He was the type of man who would cause disruption in the streets, right? Burn people's houses down just for the hell of it. Push people in the street. You be walking down the street and he'll feel like stabbing somebody. He'll do it. So this is the type of folks that are the founding fathers of this country. At the same time, you have to wonder why violence permeates this nation, right? I think also Andrew Jackson in 1804 placed an ad in the Tennessee Gazette offering a reward for the capture of a mulatto slave. Now, remember, I said Andrew Jackson was about 6 feet tall. This mulatto slave was about 6'9", and he was running from Andrew Jackson. There was a $50 reward if you found him. In fact, here's a copy of the original ad that I found online that Andrew Jackson placed for his 6'9" runaway mulatto.
Male or female?
Male, 6'9". So I wanted to just give you a little precursor on where we're going, because I also want to continue to talk about the history of this nation, the history of these political parties, and how easily as we can dismantle them. okay, just based on their own verbiage, if you will. Thomas Jefferson, he says slavery was like a wolf. He said, a wolf is coming towards you. You jump towards the front of the wolf and you grab him by the ears and you hold him and you try to keep him from harming you. He said, but at the same time, you need the wolf to protect the grounds. I need the wolf, but I can't let it go. And that was his philosophy on slavery in America. So when I read these memoirs and stuff, and matter of fact, I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of, there's a book. I like to keep things easy for y'all, and it's available on audio book. I think you can listen to it in about an hour and a half. It's called The Secret Lives of the United States Presidents. The Secret Lives of the U.S. Presidents. It's available on audiobook. I try to keep things easy for y'all. Y'all can get all this information that I'm telling y'all from this very one book. All right? So next week when we come back, tell me if I'm right or if I'm lying or not. All right? There's a book I have right here. It's about very thick book on Thomas Jefferson. And he reveals a lot on the power of whiteness and how they can use it in this book. I got this book for about $2 too, as a matter of fact, about 900 pages. But anyway, some of the things that I mentioned to y'all, I found out in this book. So next week, I want y'all to say that you already downloaded The Secret Lives of U.S. Presidents so we can discuss it even further next week. We have come to the end of our program, family. We're going to give you our final thoughts and commentary. Sister Brooke, take us home.
Yeah, we had a great discussion today. I feel like it was a wide range of subjects, from the family structure and what aided to that. And I wanted to mention, when you were talking about that earlier, that's something that my mom always talked about too. The fact that she felt that she would never allow, no matter what issues my mom and my dad had, she was like, she would never allow the white man to tell her to kick her man out. She was like, no matter how hard it gets, no matter, whatever it is, I'm not gonna allow that. And then she, told me about Claudine. And so it's funny that you say that. And my mom, that was something that my mom was extremely conscious and aware of in raising us. So yeah, I just want to say thank you so much for having me, guys. I always enjoy being with you. And that's it. And I'll see you guys next time. Oh, and I hope you guys are gonna come with us to, in the Bronx.
Yes.
And send your emails. Please send your emails. The petitions the signing the petition is great, but please send the emails. Thank you.
Sister Keisha?
You're muted, sis.
Brother Black, your final thoughts and commentary.
Yeah, thank you, Sister Brooke. A very beautiful presentation, y'all. Always a Black-tastic Thursday, like my sister Mama says. I just listened for the most part. I had a great evening. I ain't got much to say. We know there's a lot going on, and something that I always talk about is the celestial, and we're gonna have a eclipse on Saturday, so just watch out for that. And all the political stuff I could talk about, but we over time, and we always gonna have next week, so I'm gonna save it for then, and just wish y'all a great weekend, and we'll see you here next week on the bridge. Peace.
Well, here's the picture of the book, y'all. I just wanted to show you in case you see it in audio book. As you can see, it is available, so you can listen to it or buy it for $9 and read it. But I hope you can tap into it before we get back. next week. Sister Marcia, your final thoughts and commentary.
Sister Brooke, always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. I am saluting you as always. I am your humble elder and servant, and tell me what to do and I'll do it. I might not go, my bones might not get me everywhere, but I'm going to do whatever I can.
Send those emails.
Yes, ma'am. Family, I just appreciate everyone's thoughts, comments. Continue. And, we just have to move from mobilize to organize. And once we do that, we'll move places. Seasons are changing. You could feel it in the air. It's time for me to start gardening again. So that's what I'll be doing this weekend. I'm so excited to play in the dirt again and be with Mother Nature in its purest form. So with that said, may time flourish, and if it may not, make it flourish, because time is yours and you fight with it. Put up your dukes, because guns ain't working. Brother Taz?
And I want my watermelon too, sis.
Come and get it.
I'm a black man. But family, we definitely want to thank y'all for rocking out with us. Sister Brooke, it's always a pleasure having you. Can't tell you enough. Definitely want to thank everybody watching on the playback. And you can catch me every Sunday on YouTube with my partner C Gutter, the OG Wisdom Podcast at 2 p.m. And I just recently did an episode with Doggy Diamond, so look for that. Check that out. Hopefully you inspired by something you heard here tonight. Now it's your turn to go out and inspire others. Y'all stay up, stay blessed, stay true. And remember, no matter how hard things may seem right now, there's always better days ahead. Sister Keisha.
Yeah. Family, the book that I held up, this book, Thomas Jefferson book, it was written by John Meacham. It's called Thomas Jefferson, The Art of Power. One chapter he has, The Deep Dark Conspiracy. The biggest threat to free Black people, and this is from his very own words, and I think you will hear it mentioned in the book, Secret Lives of U.S. Presidents. I believe he said, and I quote, "The biggest threat to white supremacy and free Black people is the Black family structure, man, woman, and child." That's what they said, not I. And when you listen, I'm pretty sure, it's been a minute, but I'm pretty sure they're going to mention what I just said. If you listen to the audio, y'all let me know if I'm wrong. I'm getting up there in age. I got a lot of books around here, but I'm pretty sure I'm right on that. So again, family, we love and appreciate each and every one of you for rocking out with us each and every Thursday right here on the Brooklyn Bridge. Tell somebody to tell somebody. It goes down. Sign that petition. Send them emails, family. And we'll see y'all Black again next week right here. Good night, y'all. We are out.
On the Brooklyn Bridge tonight, voices strong, knowledge tight, thorough Black talk in the air, changing minds, changing flair. From Brother Tad to Sister K, warriors got things to say. Sister Marcy brings the heat, Brother Blacksmith keeps the beat. Revolutionary waves, they fly underneath the open sky. Every word's a call to fight. Tune in, feel the ancestral light. Thursday nights the world will see Black Power media on a spree. Facebook, YouTube all aligned, breaking free from every bind. Social talk and politics, every voice breaks through the matrix. Commentary raw and true, for the many, not the few. Revolutionary waves. Social talk and politics, every voice breaks through the matrix. Commentary raw and true, for the many, not the few. Revolutionary waves, they